Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome to Hardspace Shipbreaker and the No Revival series, basically the hardcore series, whatever you want to call it. Basically, we have one life, no such thing as a second chance, as it says. So if you're interested in just seeing the initial things that the game does to load up the cutscenes, this and that, there's a prologue that came out with this episode as well. This is the start of working through things, so it's just going to be live gameplay, following along, obviously hoping that I don't make any mistakes and I don't blow myself up and end the attempt very quickly. We'll see how far I get. My intent is that I get pretty far, and this will be what exists on the channel. I don't know that I'll necessarily start another attempt at it or anything, but if somehow something were to happen early on, because it has been a bit since I started, and there may be a less forgiving opportunity for certain things, but I also think I've certainly learned things over the 60 hours it took me to get through on standard as well. So let's hop right in. Alright, so our day kind of starts with these kind of things to begin with all the time. Alright, so at this point, if we just go over to our workstation, take a peek at equipment, the issue is we don't really have a whole lot of tokens, and we don't, I think, have the ability to do anything, to expand anything until we get to rank 5, as you can see. So what we want to do is start the shift, and we're going to get some choices of ships we can work on. So right now you can see your current ship is nothing, because we skipped things and we are at hazard level 2, and basically we can do various mackerels. The heavy cargo are the easiest to work with, so that is what I'm going to look at. So we can do 5 million, a little bit less than that, and 555. So technically this is a little bit higher. We get one additional repair kit. Let's see, anything else I'm seeing? Not really. So I would say this is my best option here, so we're gonna start that. I'm selecting a ship lower than my current rank, which will do lower profits, but it's all I've got available to me. So because my current rank is 3, I think. So I think that's why it's telling me that.
She's all yours, Cutter.
All right.
Now try to remember, nanocarbon goes in the processor, aluminum goes in the furnace. Try to salvage the entire ship if you can. We call it using the whole buffalo. You'll hit your certs faster that way. Start knocking out that debt of yours.
This, I don't remember it being this finicky and terrible. I'm trying to get the antenna is what I'm trying to do. There we go. Alright. So basically, again, this isn't like explain the gameplay video, but basically, we're trying to get, as it says, use the whole buffalo, use every piece. We have one life, so basically we don't want to die from electricity, cold, radiation, things exploding, so forth and so on. So not a lot. Okay, so we got to be a lot closer. Man, this is challenging to go back to this because things were so much easier to work with. So grade 2 takes a little longer to heat through and so forth. Let's see. Is that okay? So this is the danger right here. So we have a fuel tank and we have a cut point. If I get sparks into that fuel tank, it'll explode and my whole game will be over. So we're going to get rid of this fuel tank. It goes down here to the salvage, and we're going to get a little bit more, and you can see the bar filling up. So let's take a peek. Anything else we got hanging around? We do not. So now I'm a little bit freer to go ahead and get these points done. Now the other thing you can do is you can basically kind of make sure that the sparks fly in a certain direction too. So that's also one way to do things. So like I could have cut that and maybe avoided the fuel tank, but that's still pretty ballsy, honestly. So a lot of what I do first time through, again, we got to be careful not to do anything that's going to mess up the integrity, although I don't know that we have pressurized ships yet. I don't think we do, because I'm not seeing, you normally see a DNGR through the wall here, and that would quickly let us know that we have significant problems with like the ship potentially exploding on us. So again, this is only a grade 1 holding on the engine. We're going to have a couple points holding on the thruster. So these are the type of things, if you decide to give yourself a shot of being a shipbreaker, you know, you'll just get familiar with this stuff as you go, of kind of how each shop goes. So again, now this is nanocarbon, so this goes here. It's a little more challenging to control things, so I'm going to want to make sure that I'm kind of in good shape. You can see 250,000 for that, and you'll see how big we get. A huge line of credit there. So good stuff. But you can also see, you know, we've got 15 minutes per shift. Always looking for feedback from folks. I don't know how long people want episodes to be. You know, because doing a whole ship, like maybe for this first ship, that might make sense, and that might be what I'll do. But as the ships get bigger, things get more complicated. It's not uncommon to go through 7-8 shifts. The one thing that I did do on the channel kind of showed some of that, where it took 2.5 hours to take care of the one ship I was working on. You know, and that's a long episode, so... Alright, so again, we're just double checking processor, all of this goes to the processor. Now I don't have any tethers, which are super helpful. So we're gonna get pieces here, and then you know, they'll go and it'll work a little bit better. Let's see, we'll grab this 1600. So again, we can also, we can't actually power it up. It just, so I'm used to, you can hold the key that does the shot, but it looks like we just have kind of one level, so you just keep kind of doing what we're doing. There we go. I'm like, I know there's another piece somewhere. So again, 20,000. You know, and the problem was I had some momentum going the wrong way, but there we go. So, you know, nothing huge coming up there. We can get this sliced off.
Make your way back to the kiosk on the starting platform to fill up your O2. Blue ain't your color.
Right.
Trust me on this one.
So, and this is the other challenge is, not only do we have this debt, that we have to pay off, that we're basically owing our soul to the company store, literally, but the company doesn't give us any of our supplies. So what you're going to see here is we need to buy ourselves some oxygen for $16,000 for a tank of oxygen, and as you saw, we barely get about 5 minutes. So yeah, there's some substantial things going on. And again, not moving super fast. This, you know, we can go 3 meters a second, so it takes a little bit. Alright, we got pieces here, so let's get the grapple. This goes to the processor, and we just continue disassembling, and the goal is obviously do things as quickly as we can. So see if I can move, shoot. I was hoping I could just move it without it separating, but no such luck. But the good news is at least we're kind of lined up, so we can get these things floating in there pretty quickly, and that will obviously then improve our situation. So again, we're going to get this entire contraption over. And the benefit there is, you know, that's going to be a lot of different pieces when it goes in there, and so it's going to give us a good set of money, I would think. It might not have enough. No, there we go. All right, so you can see 16,000, and we'll get a few other things. 33. So we're getting a pretty good group. All right, so some of this will come free, some won't. Now it says aluminum, even though he told us put aluminum in the furnace, but it's saying put it in the processor, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so these aren't coming off. The hatch should have, there we go, some pieces that hold it on, so we'll cut that free. That'll be a nice hunk of metal. The other nice thing is it gives us a really nice access point, because now we can just head into the ship. Now this goes to the barge, so we'll go down. And again, we just don't have a lot of power on our equipment, so it takes a bit, but again, that's 200,000. That'll be a nice hunk. So we got a bottle here for a whole $100. Again, it's 2,300, so things cost a bit more. All right, so the suit patch kit, always a helpful thing to have. We can grab those. Not as familiar as how to use some of those sometimes, so that doesn't work as nicely as I'd like. Since everything's unpressurized, obviously if it hadn't been, if we took the cargo hatch off, we probably would have been at the end of our rope. So what I really would like, and maybe I'll just wait until I pull things apart, so maybe we'll go in and do some more cutting. That's a wire I can grab. I'm going to need those things later. Whoops. Does it only show up? Oh, will it not let me? Oh, it won't let me do it yet. Interesting. So that would normally be something I can add. All right, that's thruster fuel. I'm not seeing any oxygen, but all right. Now, again, what I need to be careful of, see, we got fuel tanks back there. So I need to be careful that I don't miss something. And again, those things can catch on fire too. All right, this will actually be the piece. Let's see. No, it won't let us pick it up, will it? So normally this would be a filter that we can pick up. So sadly, those are things that we can't use right now because I guess we don't have the skill. But so I'm gonna spend some time cutting here. I need to get these out. These will catch fire. See, and that's the danger. Like if you rush, I would have just shot that, and it would have caught on fire, and I'd have a real problem because I don't have a whole lot of flame resistance right now. So that would have been bad. Come on, get it out. I know it barely fits. Alright, so we're probably not even going to get to level 1 here. We'll get the airlock pad off, get that down. We've got another one in here. We'll get... Why is that not coming off? It should. Sometimes it's just the angle you're at. But again, that's almost 100,000, so those are nice. We'll probably be okay for pieces. Let's see. All right.
You to head back to the kiosk on the starting platform to fill up your O2 stat. We were out.
All right. So this becomes the problem now. Like eventually we can skill up our equipment, improve our equipment, and get more oxygen. And we get to the point, if we survive long enough, that we're going to be able to be out here for the whole shift with one oxygen tank. Similarly, the thruster fuel, all that stuff. You know, all of those things we can get better at, but that takes a while. So let's be honest, it's gonna be a slog for a little bit, but we're doing pretty well, honestly. So, you know, what I could do is I could just go in and then you replenish your oxygen by entering. Now what I can do here too is I'm going to go ahead and I think get those engines, or the nacelles as they're officially called, with, you know, space names. But we'll get these down here, and then we're definitely going to get, so there we go. We got that. The other one's going to give us what we need too. But that one's already cut free. So all of these will help. The airlock, once we free that up, is a couple 100,000. So, you know, there's a couple expensive things that we have here, but not too many. And so until we really start now getting this ship apart, I think it's going to take a bit. So let's go spend some time, our last couple minutes here, again, just cutting and getting these things free. And so you can see the cutter temp. If that goes up too high, again, it'll burn us in the hand, and that's not fun because it hurts. So again, if I kind of get all of these in the center, you can see how they're kind of unlocking, and that way I can get a little cleaner access. So you can see that panel floating off because it's loose. But again, I need to be really careful around this fuel that I don't send any sparks down in that direction. So kind of deliberately cutting where things will head out sideways and all of that. And then next time we will probably focus on getting the fuel tanks out. So if I get some of these removed, let's see, we got that. And I can see that one. Alright, so the bottom's coming out. I should be okay here, because the thruster fuel can explode too, so you want to be a bit careful. Let's see, what have we got? Alright, I should be able to go here, get these. Whoops, really? Out of range? Okay, I think that probably finished, but that'll loosen that up. So what we're going to get at the end of each shift is kind of the work we did. Again, you can see our massive debt. And so the problem is we're going to owe money to Lynx every shift, every day. You know, we're allowed to work 15 minutes in a given day, and that's it. And then after that, you know, it's in for safety, you know, even though they frankly don't care about our safety, as we'll start to see, because again, we can't skip those cutscenes and things. But so we made 1.4 million in salvage, so we're going to end the shift here. And again, because we went up a level, so we get 16 MP, which are kind of our level up points. That's going to increase our rank, so we need 60 to get up there. So by the time we're done, we'll have enough to rank up again. And then LT, which is Lynx tokens, we've earned 6 more. So we had those 25, now we have 31. And again, until we get to level 5, we really aren't allowed to spend the Lynx tokens on much of anything. So at this point, we're just kind of storing them up.
Hello, Shipbreaker 9346-52.
And so this is the issue. We owe all these fees. We're paying interest. They're doing that backup, which, again, in this mode where I have no revival, does me nothing. So that 10,000 is like a total waste, but nothing I can do. The hab that we're, or the bay we're leasing for, you know, the salvage, so the whole space we're working in, we have to pay to use that. Transporting the salvage, so the barge kind of going back and forth. renting the hab we're living in, paying the utilities we're living in, and then all the tools we have we're renting. So that's the remainder of the sheet. So if I don't find $535,000, or so of salvage every shift, I lose money and my debt increases. All right, so safeguarding your career growth. It's about spares. It doesn't, again, really help us any. We'll just take a quick look. Whoops. Didn't mean to go to the certification. We looked at that in the prologue. But this explains how the spares work, which basically, if we were to die, they restore us. But we don't have that option in this version. So we are just going to go right back to work, because that is what this is about. So now we have a ship. We don't have bay empty, and we can kind of see, what we got left. So we just go right in, and each cutter salvage the maximum amount in a timely manner, and continue salvaging existing ship. Yep. So we're not going to really look at that each time, so we don't need to. So the fuel obviously continues down, but as I said, the O2 is replenished. So I could go back into the hab with those couple minutes and not pay the 15,000 or 16,000 for the oxygen. Yeah, all right. That's what I thought. I'm rushing, and there's some stuff. There's a light on there. Come on, stop floating. God, this thing is terrible. I don't know if it's because it's so far away and it can't sense things or what, but man, because I need to get the light off of that is what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I think it's because I'm too far away. So there we go. So $3,000 for a little light bulb. So no, we're not going to complain about that. I also wanted to make sure. All right, so this is aluminum. So this aluminum is going in the furnace, as you can see. So we're going to jam that in, and there we go. And so now this is nanocarbon. Oh, see, we had some nanocarbon there. Interesting. So we lost some, so I need to be careful. Didn't realize. Too far. All right. So this is all nanocarbon. Interesting. I wonder if I would have been able to get that off. I might not have been. I mean, you can cut things, but you end up losing material, obviously, if you're cutting as well, because there's another configuration we can use for what we have as far as our cutter tool. All right, so all of this should just come out, and we should just be able, so again, because we get 39,000 for the panel, but then we're getting 11 for what's on top of it, the walkway and all that. And I think, now the thing is, I'm not sure we have this one cut loose yet. So what I want to try, yeah, let's do that. So we're going to grab this off. That's what I was trying to do. We want to get all the lights freed up. So I'm going to do that real quick. Because this is pretty safe. Like, this tool doesn't really damage things. It's just letting us pull things off. I don't think am I going to be able to reach that far? Cool. All right. There's a light up there. So there's always lights, and those are easy to forget. And usually I'm not terribly worried about it, but at this level, it's still helpful. See, so the benefit here, now we can take this and just kind of be careful. And you can see $350,000 for this fuel tank. So that's kind of what you run into, is there are certain pieces that are just really valuable. And so you want to go ahead and get those. So we have the opening of that. And again, like, these can just get sent right down. And then we're getting some money. But what I'm trying to do is now, okay, see, so somewhere, I don't understand. Oh, I see. So there's nanocarbon, but this is all nanocarbon. So why was the one... Because I can't get the piece separated. I wonder what the aluminum piece was. So that is interesting. Because, yeah, what I'd like to do, although I'm pretty sure I don't get any credit, I've never been able to 100% salvage 100% of a ship. Because there's always something you're doing that is a problem. See, but now we can just send things through the floor of the ship because, you know, we don't need it. But we've got all these suit patch kits, which is awesome. And these repair kits are for our equipment, so those will help. Yeah, I want to get the other fuel, but that one's not that easy to get to. Because the problem is getting out of that door. So what I'm going to try to do... See, this is dangerous now. So the sparks should go this way. And then when it pops, now we're done. So now what I should be able to do, and again, I have the grapple. I want to be sure I have the grapple. See, now I can pull this out and then run that potentially down. Okay, it's thinking I have the fuel tank. Ah, really? Already? Fine. Because, yeah, you almost barely have enough time to get back. At this level, because we do deplete it pretty quickly. So what I was hoping was to get that out of the way, and I want to get that fuel tank out of there, because the sooner you can get the hazards out of the way, obviously the less dangerous things are, because there's much less opportunity to, you know, again, set things ablaze. You know, the bigger problem is blow things up that could hurt you. But if nothing else, yeah, see, so, like, we barely made it. Alright. So, let me see. I'm going to go in through from the roof, because if I can get that fuel tank and then just shoot it through the floor, that would be nice. It's just that nanocarbon screen is a bit in the way, but hopefully it'll work and it'll clear. Alright, so it kind of did clear out. See, in that shard, well, it's not that terribly heavy, I don't think. So again, 350,000. So we'll move it a little bit. Yeah, see, I'm trying to crank it in, but I don't even have the power to really do that easily. Alright, so we're going to get this down, because you can... Like, if you bang into things, like, it can explode from just, like, you cracking the tank and damaging it. So you do need to be careful. Alright. So, but what this now lets me do is now I can cut the rest of this all up. So the question is, that's processor... See, I don't know that I need to remove this, because I think all of that is just part of... It can all go in the processor. So the only benefit would be if it's, like, too heavy. But other than that, like, leaving it is actually more efficient on the salvage front. Alright, so again, I do want to kind of get a good view in here, because I want to make sure there's nothing, again, that can explode on me. Yeah, these are just aluminum, so we're good. And again, if I kind of shoot it this way, I'm just sending sparks back at me. Alright, that's the airlock. Alright, I can probably pull this out too. Yep. Alright, because what that will do is allow me to get access to the other cutting points, because getting the airlock free is a bit of a challenge as well. But I just also want to get to that storage box a little bit, stuff like that. So we're going to get these through. So there's points up on two sides of the airlock that hold the airlock into the frame. So you've got the two frames kind of stuck together there. But now we're gonna go down. So that's the bottom. So now technically, like, the airlock is free. Okay, that's too far. But this is the other side of the frame, and then we'll have one on top. Man, we're still too far. So it's just being able to cut. Alright, let me rotate and go up. See, you can see 250,000, almost 243. And now when we do this, see, it'll separate and it starts to float out. And it becomes a lot more dangerous as we have different kinds of ships later. So I don't know if asteroid shards are flammable in any way. Doesn't look like it. So I'm like, that's a bit dangerous, frankly. Alright, and again, we'd normally... Okay, we can do something with the multi-tool, because that's almost a $5,000 wrench. So, and again, the problem is I'm gonna need a couple minutes, and I think it still makes sense to go get the oxygen, even though I pay $16,000. Well, you know what, I'm just gonna... Yeah, I changed it by accident. Like, I'll just stick with the cutter and cut everything, because I was gonna get the lights off. Because if they float around, and that way I don't mistakenly throw something in the oven. Or the nano processor. Wow. So there's another multi-tool over there. Alright. So I think I've got everything cut. See, and again, it didn't change to the grapple. I didn't pick it correctly, but if I do this, you know, the other thing you can see, like, the grapple's down to 86%. We start having our equipment wear out. That's where those repair kits come in. But see, taking these lights off then helps us in that things won't float in, and I can then get those out and away. Alright, so the storage comes up. Let's see. Yeah, see, and again, if I hit myself with that, I can break my helmet and then run out of air, which would be bad. See, so at this point, like 3.5 minutes, the question becomes, you know, can I make $16,000? And usually I probably can. So, I mean, you know, but I'm basically spending $32,000 a shift per for oxygen. And each shift is 15 minutes, so again, when I talked about in the beginning, like the length of episodes, like I could do 2 shifts and be like, yeah, it's half an hour. And, you know, that may be what I do here, just to default. But if people are like, nah, go ahead and do an hour and a half, whatever it is, you know, get further along. You know, I'm happy to kind of work at the pace people enjoy, to some degree. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna, because the thing is, I wouldn't probably later consistently always do a full ship, because the challenge simply becomes. So let's see. I was gonna say I should be able to get this out. See, and now all those are floating apart. You know, and the benefit becomes now, like, I should have nothing on here that is a problem, and now I just start sending these pieces to the ship. And I say a problem like the lights and stuff. I just send those pieces to the nano processor. I'm going to call it I call it the furnace, but obviously it's not the furnace. You know, and these have like those outer cones on the edge that are used for whatever reason. And so you can see we're getting a lot more. We just want to avoid red. And so, you know, we can just do stuff like that and kind of use Newton's laws of motion. You know, objects that remain in motion tend to stay in motion, all that stuff. Alright, so we got that. We got that. We'll get this one out of there so it doesn't get lost. Again, we should have little multi-tools somewhere. We know those were floating around. Because if I can get 5 grand on those, like, that would be great. So let's grab that one. And again, we don't want to pop our helmet by...
You got about a minute left, Cutter. 1
By-
minute remaining.
Alright. I thought there was another wrench there, but maybe not. Alright. So we got both those panels. I was hoping maybe we could get to level 2 and 3 in one shift, but doesn't look like that gonna happen. But, you know, kind of the old... something that remains in motion tends to stay in motion. That's what you're always playing with. You know, but that's the benefit. Like, once it's moving, I just keep doing that force press and things will move. So we're gonna, you know, we'll get a good amount there. 104,000. Now the question is, do I... Okay, so that's all one really big piece. Oh, there's the multi-tool. So let's get that down there. That'll give us another 5 grand, and you know, it pays for a little bit of our oxygen. So similar shift. We got 1.4, now we got 1.5, but we're beyond 50% salvaged on the ship already. So I'm going to go ahead at this point, just because, again, I don't know. I'm likely going to put everything for this ship out there, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get this ship done in like 2-3 more shifts. It's not going to take incredibly long. So everything will be out together, but then if people are like, nah, just do an hour, you know, I'll watch an hour of it in one sitting. That would certainly make it a little bit easier than splitting things up, but at this point I'm going to go ahead and cut it at about the half an hour, 2 shifts, and then we'll see where we sit. Like, if I've still got a good amount left at the end, because again, it starts to, when you're starting to do like little pieces, sometimes it just takes longer, so it might take 4 shifts. You know, maybe I'll break it into 2 more, but we'll see what it looks like after 2 shifts next time. As always, on the channel, if you've liked this but haven't dropped a like and you're not a subscriber, both of those things are greatly, greatly appreciated by me. Helps a small channel like this grow. So please consider those things, and I will see you next time.